Now, it's been around 2 weeks since the Itaewon crowd crush occurred. The tragedy affected people across the country, both physically and mentally. But even though many have been left traumatized by direct and indirect exposure to the accident, some seem to be unaware of it up until now. For our news features this week, our Song Yoo-jin helps us identify if one is suffering from a trauma and on how to get necessary assistance.
Now, just a few minutes from here is where the deadly Halloween crowd crush happened on the evening of October 29th. Now, this is a subway station exit that's just a few minutes away from the scene of the accident. And as you can see, it's drenched in sorrow. There are flowers and messages of condolences. Now, as a person who've been following and catching up with this accident ever since it broke out, just like these people, I also felt enormous grief and helplessness. Now, these emotions that we're feeling are a form of trauma. And realizing that we're experiencing trauma is the first way to effectively deal with it.
Trauma is defined as a response to an incident or event that's emotionally disturbing or life-threatening in some way. You don't have to be part of the incident to experience it. Secondary or vicarious trauma can happen through hearing stories or being exposed to media or real-time videos and pictures. Common symptoms include changes in emotions, mood, and behavior.
People can be more avoidant, maybe avoiding things that might trigger off memories or thoughts about the incident. People might find that they're also more emotional, so more easily irritable, or actually easily startled by people or by noises. And they might have things like flashbacks, memories, unwanted thoughts about the incident.
Many of those we met said they had these typical trauma responses.
그런 게 좀 시간이 지나면 트라우마로 좀 많이 좀 남을 것 같아요. 좀 어떠실 것 같은지.
저도 그래서 처음에는 몇 개 이렇게 보다가 어느 순간부터는 일부러 그래서 핸드폰을 안 보게 되고.
만약에 제가 이 거리에 있었다면 저도 이렇게 희생을 당했을 수도 있으니까.
처음에는 진짜 믿기지가 않았었는데 이제는 좀 받아들이려고 그래도 노력하고 있고.
Once you realize you're struggling with trauma, it's important to reach out for help as soon as possible. This is because the so-called golden time to treat trauma is in the first 1 to 3 months after symptoms first appear. Not getting the necessary treatment during this period could lead to post-traumatic stress disorder. And experts say once PTSD becomes chronic, it's extremely difficult to cure. Then, what kind of support is available in Korea?
Not only us, but local trauma and counseling centers are providing both phone and in-person counseling sessions. Those who wish to receive the service can dial 1577-0199. And we're trying to reach out to bereaved family members and survivors to share information on mental health support. We're also planning in-person counseling sessions for rescue workers like police officers and firefighters.
These services are mostly offered in Korean. But there are a lot of non-Koreans who were affected by the tragedy. Out of the 156 who lost their lives, 26 were non-Koreans. And as Itaewon is a famous hub of multiculturalism, many people of all nationalities are likely to be suffering from trauma.
You try to block those thoughts, you try to block those news so that you can carry on with your daily life.
We didn't, when I saw the video, we didn't know what the accident was. We thought maybe a drug or like people were drinking too much alcohol or something. And it's just like, looks surreal, like it was dolls or something. I didn't know it was people on the ground, so.
I would say so. It's better than some other child telling half-baked information to my child. I would like her to know what happened, understand what the issue was.
As of now, the National Center for Disaster and Trauma has created a pool of counselors who can conduct English sessions. For non-English speakers, there is phone counseling involving a translator set up by the Ministry of Gender Equality and Family and the Ministry of Foreign Affairs. Private-run counseling institutions for migrants are also providing services in more than 10 languages.
Now, another group that need care are people here, the local vendors and merchants of Itaewon. Now, I'm currently standing at the streets of Itaewon, and as you can see, the stores are all closed down, there are police lines, and it's nearly empty. Now, the reason why these people, they especially need more care and support is because they have no choice but to come here every day, as this is where they work and live. And Itaewon, this district, for the past couple of years, have been hit really hard by the strict COVID-19 distancing rules. And just about when they were getting back on their feet, another tragedy struck.
Some merchants I spoke to said they felt guilty and sorry about reopening their businesses and trying to return back to life.
Police cars have been lining up here for days, but we could barely see them when they were needed on the night of the accident.
Anybody affected by this incident, whether indirectly or not, are all victims. People should remember this and never be sorry about trying to recover. Making a recovery is actually the way to heal our saddened society.
Time will heal, but without proper care, trauma could leave lasting damage. So it's important to seek professional support if you feel the need. At times like this, opening up and sharing your thoughts and feelings could be better than keeping them to yourself. Song Yoo-jin, Arirang News.